Alright guys, so I don't have time for a proper introduction, because I actually need to go do stuff today, but Nintendo just released a trailer for Super Mario Maker showing even new features coming to the game, which is pretty funny, because I literally just commented in our Splatoon discussion that I hope Nintendo continues to support Mario Maker, and sure enough, here they go. So, they are adding 3 main things to the game, plus one other smaller detail. So they're adding bumpers, which happen when you shake the grinders. They're adding P-doors, which you just shake a door to access, which makes... basically, it works just like normal doors, except you can't access them unless you've activated a P-switch, which seems kind of interesting. And then finally, they are adding the Fire Koopa Clown Car, which again, you get by just shaking the clown car, and that allows you to shoot, you can shoot fireballs from it horizontally, which basically means you can now make true shooter levels, so I'm going to have to go back and modify my Super Shmup Brothers, I think, to for this new clown car. Anyways, Derek, what do you think about this?
These are really good additions, I think. They're unique, and it's fairly simple. They're following that sort of path that the previous update had, where you just modified existing items that couldn't be shaken to become new things to get some more variation. And as we've said many times before, simple additions like this can completely change how people make layouts. Like they showed all those bumpers. You could have a completely bumper-filled level to make it, a little different, or a bumper filled with things. I didn't even think about the possibility of the making proper shooter levels now that you have a Fire Koopa Clown Car. I was just thinking about, God, that's going to be a lot of fire from Bowser and Bowser Jr. when they do that stuff.
Well, that's a good question. I guess I guess I would work with the enemies. I didn't even think about that, because it looks like the fire is controlled by Mario by, like using a fireball from the fire flower. But I'm guessing enemies would be able to use it too, so that would be a lot of fire.
Yeah, theoretically. I mean, it might be a way, it's unclear, of course, but it might be a way to have a little bit more predictable actions from the Bowsers that we have, because Bowsers are about the most random element in this game, and it's hard to play on levels around them because they do so many different things unless you find a way to highly control them. So that might be a bit of it. The P-warp door is actually really cool. It reminds me of those doors from Super Mario Bros. 3, where specifically that one castle where you hit the P-switch and all of a sudden blue coins appear around this door, and now you could finally warp through it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, except the only difference is you can see these this time.
Yeah, well, there's only so many things you can do.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, I think that's a good idea. I mean, it actually resolves... I think this actually might be a direct response to how people have been using doors, which is that quite often you'll have, like, a pair of blocks blocking them, which means you have to activate the P-switch in order to... you turn them into coins and then run through the coins and access the door. So, I mean, I guess, as far as I can tell, like, it doesn't add that much functionality, but it streamlines existing functionality. And I like that. I think that's cool, and it actually does add a little bit, because the door, I mean, won't, actually goes away if you miss your window. But yeah, I think it streamlines existing functionality, and I think we'll continue to see... I hope we continue to see more updates along those lines. Fixing loopholes players have used and actually incorporating them into the game, which is, I think, a great idea. Like, that kind of even applies to the Koopa Clown Car, where people, such as myself, actually, I probably made the first shmup level, seeing as how I had early access to the game, where I made a shooter level, and now you can actually make it a proper one. Because in my version, of course, you're using a fire flower, and you can only shoot, you shoot diagonally, which means enemies above you are impossible to target, basically. Or enemies at the top of the screen, I should say. This fixes that. And also, it looks, going off the trailer, it looks like you might be able to charge it up, too, and shoot a bigger fireball, which adds another element to it, if I'm looking at that correctly.
And you could even do some really crazy stuff with these shmup levels, where you can, you can add, you can start out with the regular Koopa Clown Car, and then halfway through the stage, then the Fire Clown Car shows up as if it was a power-up, and now you can upgrade and shoot in many different directions.
Yeah, that's a good point, exactly. And now that you mention it too, I actually really do hope that the Clown Cars enemies do shoot fire with them, because I actually have a level I've been working on for like a couple months now. I've kind of put it aside for a while. That makes heavy use of the Clown Cars, and this is perfect for it.
No, that's the thing though about these simple changes, that they really do add a lot of different possibilities. And how many actual elements are there that you can't shake anymore?
Well, I was wondering about that, so I might make that a separate video now, taking a look at everything that you can interact with. Because it might offer a hint as to what's coming up. Because, yeah, as you touched on earlier, so far, every major update we've seen has been a variant of existing things, or shaking them, in other ways. And I think... So I think that could be interesting to see what else they could do with what's left. But I don't even know how much is left. I think there may not even be that much left at this point.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is Goombas, and that's just because when you shake them, they burst into tiny little things. Maybe if you shake them like that, you'll get those Paragoombas. You can make those Paragoombas where the Goombas drop off the mini Goombas, and like in Mario 3 where you can't jump high anymore, like they hold you down.
Right.
So when you shake a Goomba, those little ones, instead of just falling away, they become those that you can rain down.
It did seem odd that, when you shook it, it just turned into small Goombas for apparently no reason. I mean, for no reason. They don't do anything. So that would be a cool functionality to add. Add the micro Goombas. Yeah, so I hope they continue updating the game. And there's actually one other feature we didn't touch on yet. They added a new high score, or sorry, not high score. They added a new fastest time, so it keeps track of whoever got the fastest time, as well as the first player who beat the course. And that's actually something I mentioned earlier in our top 10 DLC video. So that's now 2 things they're adding that I wanted, which is great. So it is cool that they're adding, it's now essentially time trials. You can actually make courses based around that now. However, they still haven't added the other thing I mentioned, which is I want a high score tracker too. Because I think this opens the possibility for making Mario levels that haven't really existed before, which exist more around high scores and just finishing them. Like, I forget what level I made that had a similar concept to that. But, like, even in a shooter level, it'd be cool if you were rewarded for getting the most points, right?
Exactly, and it would also give a lot more purpose to coins outside of playing through 100 Mario courses, where you need those extra lives in order to maintain your progress. But if you're just playing a level out of the blue, coins and 1-ups don't matter too much, but if you could add points stat and a high score meter for that level, for your level, that would all of a sudden give them more purpose, because all of a sudden each thing is worth more points that you can utilize to try to get that high score.
That's a really good point. I mean, coins are, outside of the 100 Mario mode, are completely worthless, and so are 1-ups. Like, I feel like when a 1-up pops out of a question block, I just wasted my time. You wasted my time as a player creator. You suck. So, yeah, I think it'd be cool they actually made the 1-ups, like, actually quite valuable in points. Like, give you, like, I don't even remember how the points work in Mario Maker. Give me 100,000 points for a 1-up. I don't care. Like, it would incentivize you to go out and look for those secrets if you can get on the high score list. So yeah, I think that'd be awesome if they went that far. I don't know if they will, because Mario has never really done that before, but that would be another smart addition that plays into how people are making levels. Kind of like, actually I remember the levels I made now that would work with that, but like my old school arcade levels. Like, it would be awesome if you were rewarded for playing well. Because like, I have like that Missile Command level, right? Where I try to make it as close to the original game as possible, but ultimately all you have to do is end up defending one block. It'd be cool if it did keep track of your high score, if you were rewarded for defending them much better than you had to just to beat the level. So
yeah, that would be really cool, and like maybe even add like a bonus if like people were able to do well. Not sure if you'd be able to implement that at all, but still, like, there's ways around that to give people like incentives and bonuses and encourage people to replay your levels, not just one and done.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I really do love this continued support. I mean, even the bumper, like, it looks like a silly thing at first, that actually fills a need I needed earlier, where I wanted to make a bumper car like level using the clown car, where you're going up against other clown cars. And I tried using the grinders as a bumper, because you do like bounce off of them, but it stuns the clown car, whereas this won't, presumably. So that again solves another, albeit minor, issue, and it's just another tool to play around with. And we've already seen before how like adding a single thing can really dramatically change what you can do with a level. And I really can't wait to see what people end up doing with all these elements. And even something as innocuous as the bumper, I think, could have big results.
Oh, absolutely, and this is the first. I think this is the first time we've gotten real like level additions, because before I think the update only added checkpoints.
Well, checkpoints, and then we also got the ability to combine items.
Yes, that's it. So definitely helpful in the grand scheme, but not as like widespread as these new level elements.
These actually impact the gameplay more directly than the others do. More evidently. Because the thing with the power up element that changes the power up that pops out of the box, that's something you're not even going to notice as a player unless you play the level more than once. So, whereas all these obviously change the level the first time through, so...
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit more standoutish. But yeah, I mean, this does give the hope that maybe someday we will get what everybody wants, slopes.
I'm waiting for them, man. Like, I do wonder if they would add... I mean, I guess with a slope, they could just make that the standard pieces and you just shake them. And it makes, like, maybe a 45-degree angle. You know, that may not be quite the level of slope control we need, but it would work. I would take any level of slopes at this point, and it ties into the way they're using existing, you know, elements in new ways. So it does make me wonder though if they will actually ever add any true elements, or any true new elements that, you know, occupy their own spots on the screen. But so far we haven't seen that, and they do have like that blank road they could use, which is really now only used for like more easily sorting your elements. So there is room for it. They wanted to add more, and I hope they do. And I actually think, counterintuitively, I think this update almost supports the idea, because these are, in effect, almost like the bumper is essentially a new item. It's you know, I mean, it's similar to the grinder, but it is essentially also a new item. And the fact that they're still supporting this game makes me think that, you know, once they get through the logical updates or the, you know, more easily implemented updates, they'll start adding new stuff.
Yeah, and to go in further, it's completely possible they could just add another line of new items and gradually fill that in, like they're doing with the mystery mushrooms. Because everybody thought we were only going to get 10 new mystery mushroom costumes, and then the feline costume comes out, and right there is number, I believe, 111. So there's a brand new row with 10 more mystery mushroom costumes that we can get now, and, you know, it could just keep going for as long as Nintendo wants, really.
Yeah.
There is no limit.
Well, I hope there's no limit. They could go the Smash Brothers route, add the second screen.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm just really excited to see Nintendo still supporting this game. I'll be honest, I got a little bit concerned that it would just be costumes from here on out, and this alleviates that concern. I'm actually surprised this wasn't part of the latest Nintendo Direct, though, which I predicted there would be new updates in. So it seems I was just a little bit off my timing, but we didn't have to wait too long for more, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Any final thoughts, Derek, on this at all, or any other like quick tweaks you would like to see in a future update besides slopes?
I mean, just the usual stuff. I mean, the more elements they put in, the more new enemies. Any kind of new enemy, I'd love to see.
Angry Sun, come on.
But yeah, I think this is a great update. I'm sure people are excited to play around with it and see what they can do. And we'll have even more levels to try out.
I know, it's going to be exciting. I like this. Alright guys, well that wraps up for us here. So thanks for watching. If you liked our discussion, make sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. You can find links to them in the description below, which is a good way to keep updated on everything we post. And of course, keep an eye on GameXplain for more on Super Mario Maker and other things gaming as well. And now I'm off to the dentist. Alright, catch you guys later. Bye.